everyone! Today I'll be showing you the process for this waterfall forest painting. Let's get started. There is a waterfall in every dream, cool and crystal clear. It falls gently on the sleeper, cleansing the mind and soothing the soul. That's a quote from Virginia Allison. I'm just gently placing these colors. I'll list all the colors I'm using in the description of the video if you'd like to follow along with me. This will be the background color for the forest. It's sort of a muted green, and it feels soothing to look at. I'm using a palette knife to put these colors down on the canvas. I enjoy the smoothness of using the palette knife and mixing the colors with it as well. I'm not overthinking placement too much, just going with my intuition and getting that background on. And then I'll put details over this color. I'm using a brush now to blend some white into this muted green color to add a misty effect. A couple of years ago I got to see the Amacola Falls in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And those falls were just so spectacular to look at. Standing under them, I just had this immense feeling of peace wash over me. I'm hoping to bring that feeling forth in this painting. These waterfalls are kind of going to be loosely based on those ones, at least. But as usual, I'm not planning ahead too much for this painting. I'm just going with what I feel. I'm thinking the time of year in this painting is going to be summertime. Lots of deep greens and yellow greens to make it look like there's sunlight. I'm doing the yellow green first and then a deep green over it to make it look like sunlight is coming through the leaves. I'm tapping those leaves on with a pretty big brush. I'm adding lots the leaves to be really textured here. I love paintings with lots of texture. In person it makes it feel like you're really there somehow. A little more blending of that mist. I like to use my fingers when I can, so I can really feel what's happening, making sure the misty parts are as smooth as possible. Now I'm adding some white to the bottom of those leaves, kind of to make it look like there's light coming through the vanishing point in the middle of the painting, where the waterfalls are going to be. Just blending it all together and getting lots of texture on there. And now I've got a really dark green on my palette knife. This is going to be a rock formation here. And another one emerging on the other side. I love painting rock formations with the palette knife, that and textured mountains as well. It's a really good tool for that sort of thing. And now with some white on my palette knife, I'm beginning to place those waterfalls in the distance. This is my favorite part of the waterfall paintings, is when the waterfalls can be placed and start to come to life. you want a little bit of that green color in the background to show through some of the parts of the waterfalls. And you don't want them to be too straight. They're usually a little bit curved one way or the other. I like to make some bigger falls and then at the bottom of them do a whole bunch of little ones, like there are rocks making the water spill out over them. I've placed these waterfalls over the misty parts that I started with to kind of make it look like the mist is coming off of them in the distance. And now I'm adding some more mist at the bottom. And some more leaves, kind of mapping out where those trees are going to go. I'm using a little piece of cloth here to blend these leaves together a little bit more and to make the light on them a little more even. Adding leaves wherever I feel, even on those rocky parts. I'm thinking there will be some trees down at the bottom as well. And now the piece is starting to come together and make a little more sense. I'm adding some stray waterfalls here and there and some details in the rocks as well. And now with some black mixed with blue, I'm adding some trees in the distance. I'm just bringing them up to where I put those leaves, making it all come together. Trees are one of my favorite things to paint. I love forming their branches and figuring out where the leaves go. Just lots of tiny trees at the bottom of this waterfall. I feel like trees would like it here with all this mist to soak up. They can come out of the rocks, sideways even if you want. I love the freedom of painting trees. Now I'm beginning to add some branches at the top. I'm kind of making a forest canopy at the top here. it's a little bit closer up than those trees in the distance. I'm thinking these trees are just overhead. After I add each branch, I'm adding a little bit of leaves in front of each one, here and there. I find doing that makes the branch look a little more real. There's nothing I love more than being under a canopy of trees. Ever since I was little, seeing trees overhead just filled me with joy. Now I'm going over those branches with a cloth, adding tons of tiny leaves, and blending the dark green in with the light green. One of my favorite Old English words is "were Fasteria," and it means to wander longingly through the forest in search of mystery. I long to do this more often, but at least I can wander through the forest in my paintings, if nothing else. Now I'm defining these trees at the bottom a little more. The little details are most important to me. So as this piece reaches the end, I just am looking at every little detail, making sure it's right. It was Shakespeare who said, "The earth has music for those who listen." And that's one of my favorite quotes as well. Thank you guys for coming on this journey with me. I hope you join me again soon.